All right, and we're back. And there was technical difficulties, but I hopefully there won't be any more. This is hour two, and we had some good content that was all corrupted, but we have replaced the fins with Francesco DiCosmo. You still doing good?
Yeah, man.
Okay, so
Did the car run into your house?
it didn't run into my house, but it ran into my neighbor's house.
Oh,
You're
wonderful.
fuck. You're kidding me.
No. But they ran into their property, not into the house directly.
See, notice I didn't say fuck.
And
I
was
just
it
said
was it
fuck.
on and was it on
Yeah.
purpose is the real
Anyway.
question. Is this a
Yeah,
deliberate attack on your neighbor or was it meant for you?
What?
Who knows?
I don't
It
know. See,
affected you.
this is why I stay anonymous, because I know they're trying to get me.
Oh, it doesn't even help.
Holy Scheißenheimer.
Scheißenheimer.
That's my word. You can use it.
That
Yeah,
is
you
your word.
can use it. Yeah, it's
Good.
it's licensable.
It's
Yeah.
no, it's good. It's a good
I
word.
license all my content.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll have our lawyers talk to your lawyers about getting the license to use your words.
Right on. I
So-
don't have a license.
That's
Even
okay.
better, we could.
I have a license being crazy.
Are you a sovereign
I'm a
citizen?
musician. I have a license to be nuts. What?
Are you a sovereign citizen?
Not particularly. I guess
Do not-
we're all citizens.
Do you not
Yeah,
know what? Do you not know what that is?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay. All right. So when you're not driving.
I don't conduct myself like that because the system just trounces all over you. I mean, it's just
Those
I'm not. You got to pick your battles, man.
those videos are so funny. Like, I'm not a big fan of police officers in general,
No.
but
Yeah, me.
but
I respect law enforcement, but
right, yeah,
there's so many people that are in that job that should never be in that job.
yeah, exactly. But when I see people talking to cops like that, say, like trying to like make up new laws, and then when I see the cop break their window and drag them out of the car, I'm like, you know what? You are a person that deserved that kind of force.
You got to be smart.
Yeah.
Like you said, pick your battles.
Yeah, you
know,
can't.
like,
You can't.
if they say don't move your hands or reach for anything, I'm not going to reach. I'm not going to reach for anything, or and I'm not going to say, oh, show me your. Like I'm going to be nice. I don't want to get murdered right now by you. So please.
Exactly. A lot of these guys that go into that profession, they're like kind of bullies.
Yeah.
Like you want to, like intimidate a bully or I mean have an argument with them. You're gonna lose.
They have a gun and a tape.
They have guns.
Yeah, well, and not just that, because there's a bunch of them that know that there are the ones that are like that, so they try not to be that.
Yeah.
And then you can only push them so far before they just say, all right, you know what? I've had enough. You broke the law, and I am allowed to use this force to handcuff you. So you are at a certain point resisting arrest.
Yeah, they bring it on themselves,
Yeah, so
self-defense is resisting arrest at some point.
Yeah, I mean it can be construed as such.
Right? Yeah. Well, there's a line, yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But if you haven't seen the videos of sovereign citizens getting owned by cops, they are really funny because these people.
Yeah, no, I've seen some.
Yeah, check that out. I'm not aware.
Yeah, the people, they're making up laws. They're like,
I might be in one of them.
I'm a traveler of the land. I can sell my birth certificate for $1 billion. You have no authority over me. It's like they say the weirdest things. Like clearly a crazy person told them this, and then they're telling a person with a gun and usually an inferiority complex all these things. And at a certain point, that person they're gonna run out of patience. And
you're gonna lose.
Yes. It's like punching a wall. Wall always wins.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and this is our music show, everybody.
Yeah, let's see Francesco's new bass.
Sure.
Look at this.
Yeah, why not?
Whoa!
Oh, it's nice.
Yeah, see, we're talking music.
I love this thing.
I like the finish.
It's deep purple, bro.
Yeah. I have
you like the finish, huh?
Dingwall combustion.
Yeah.
From Canada, and it's just the most
It's a beauty.
ridiculous rock bass I've ever owned in my life. I mean, I've had a lot of basses. I have a really cool easel here too, which is great. This is a great bass too.
Oh, I like the finish.
Yeah, it's really cool. Looks like marble, but it's like this.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, it's like this
Mm.
burled what is that?
A fancy finish.
Yeah, it's really great. Really great bass. But this one takes the cake.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Oh, it's a great bass. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta come out to one of your shows, man. Like seriously, I really want to because you got an amazing voice.
Thanks,
I
man.
love hearing you on your albums. I mean, you played with Chris Poland for goodness sake. Like that's
What
I'm
an
at a loss
experience.
for words. Yeah.
Well, here's the question. Are you still in contact with Chris these days?
I talked to him last year. We don't really talk that much. He's kind of an elusive guy, you know. I mean, we're still friends. I went to his drummer's David Eagle died a few years ago, and I went to the service and we hung out and stuff. And David was a great guy, man. I don't know if you know much about him. Very unique drummer, and he made his own percussion things out of metal, like percussion instruments out of metal, and on his drum set. So unique. I mean, it's just a really unique drummer and a great guy. So
That's too
you know,
bad.
ended up going to the service and stuff and hung out with him for a while. And but I haven't really seen him. I talked to him last year. I haven't seen him since. But
Yeah,
he's one of the world's greatest guitar players.
I agree. Yeah.
I mean, and his tones are just completely from another planet.
Yeah, the first two Megadeth records are, you know, at least my favorites. I'm sure AC would agree.
Yeah, I think those are the best ones.
Yeah, and
the first two, yeah,
like just amazing playing. Like nothing really compares. Like they are the kings of the genre, and Chris Poland is right there. You know, I wouldn't say he's necessarily the reason, but he's not the reason. Like,
well, it's also interesting that Chris Poland replaced Kerry King, and without Chris Poland, there wouldn't be Gar Samuelson. And those two albums, they're not just great thrash records; they are great musical records. Because when everyone thinks Megadeth, as far as like a musical band, they go to Rest in Peace, which Rest in Peace is like, as far as being a musical album. Yeah, it is. It is one of the best metal records of that era, and I think part of that, and it has this perfect production. Marty Friedman is a great guitar player. I think Dave was clean long enough to kind of get his head straight to be more focused in his writing. But as an adult, going back and listening to "Killing Is My Business" and "Peace Sells," there are things that I didn't pick up on it, because everyone would say this about Gar Samuelson, like about his drum. Oh, he's a jazz drummer. Well, those are just words. There's no real meaning when you just say that. Like that's not why he's good.
John Bonham.
Yeah, exactly.
John Bonham, but he applied it to rock. You know, it's like, what?
Yeah, but you can actually hear how he incorporated the jazz playing into it. And the same thing with Chris Poland. Like you can really hear, because
1000%.
Yeah, because just going from the first two records to So Far So Good So What, like those, like So Far So Good So What is like the perfect example of just like phoning it in. Like he's without Megadeth for the first time, so he just has a guy who is a guitar teacher and a guy. I think Chuck Baylor was a drum tech. I think
you're right.
I think he was just like the guy that stepped in. So he wasn't the drumming in that album. The best way to describe it is drums. Like there's nothing special. Like the fire is gone. That's an album, as years have gone by, my appreciation for it has just dropped greatly.
Yeah.
As my appreciation for just the first two records, especially the first one, has risen. Like you can really hear that he was trying to do something musical while also being aggressive. he really tried to stand out. And I think Metallica, as I've said, they are the most generic of those early thrash bands. The only thing they did to stand out was their more musical interludes, which I do think they were good at. But the rest of their songs are just so flat and just the most like I got my degree with all C minuses, but I still got my degree. Like that's like,
you're talking about Metallica, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I like Master of Puppets, so that's a classic.
But there are songs on it that I like, but Metallica as a thrash band, I think, is really kind of a flat line. Like they what they excel at is
Megadeth is much more exciting.
Exactly.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, not
way more exciting.
Not just that, but like Slayer is more exciting. Exodus is more exciting. Testament. Sodom, Destruction.
Oh, yeah.
Like because the songs that I really like by Metallica are like Sanitarium, One, Unforgiven, Fade to Black. Like, do you see a pattern here?
And Justice for All, I think is what that album.
No. The slower songs, the more musical ones, because I think most of their thrash songs, they're just like Fire with Fire. You could not get a more generic thrash song. I do think Battery is a really exciting, great thrash song. It's got good build up. The riff is really cool. I like that song a lot. Dyer's Eve is pretty good. Trapped Under Ice is excellent. Fuel is a terrible song. I wonder if Metallica, like, you get a few beers in them, probably not James Hetfield anymore. I think he's sober, but you give him, I guess, a truth serum, and I wonder if you asked him, like, are you happy that you recorded Load and Reload? I really wonder what they would have to say.
Probably not.
That's what I would think so. Because
I have to confess.
Yeah. Yeah, because as much as we love Megadeth, like we do not deny that Risk is a terrible record.
Probably the worst album ever.
It's pretty close.
But
that's awesome.
But it was a risk, okay? No,
they took a risk.
Yeah, I mean, I could go down to the casino. I could go down to the casino and bet my life savings on 10 black. It's a risk. I'll probably lose, but it's not a good risk, but it's a risk.
Yeah.
If I win, that's a lot of money.
You learn your lesson and move on, and they're still making quality records like Dystopia and even Sick, the Dead and the Dying, or whatever it's called. They're awesome albums. Like I really enjoyed both of those. And they're still ripping it,
still kicking.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Can I say that?
You can say ass.
You can't show it. You can't show it, but
you can probably show it to underage children, but you can't show it to adults. The rules are so strange these days. I can't keep up with anything.
No.
It's all a big psyop, bro.
Like,
everything.
If your song has lyrics that you want to kill people and rape women and drug them, well, that's fine. But if you have a podcast that talks about how that's really bad, well, no, you can't do that.
Oh, that's extremist language. Yeah,
you extremist.
Because people have asked us, like, why don't you go on Spotify? They have video now. It's like, well, we can't.
You know what?
Platform.
We'll put that on the Patreon. No, our episode on why we're not on Spotify. But
okay, that's a good idea.
Yeah, Francesco would probably appreciate the rules of Spotify, like what you're not allowed to do. It's really, really funny, but that's for another day.
The most pathetic thing about Spotify.
Go on.
Can we talk about artists' royalties now?
Please. I think this is a good thing to talk about right now. It's relevant.
Of a penny per play.
Can you repeat that?
Oh, I heard.
Of a penny per play in the year 2024. I mean, it's astonishing. We have the most sophisticated computer technology, blockchain, and AI now that can track all kinds of shit, and we're paying hundreds of a penny per play, and these corporations are making millions of dollars in advertising, and the record companies leasing these catalogs to these streaming companies, and this is legal. It's total insanity, man.
Well,
It's
you
complete
well,
insanity.
so this is it's an interesting point that you bring up because when they first introduced the monetization system to YouTube, it was, I think it was a penny per 100 views. And this was before people were paying for YouTube. So it was basically based on ad revenue. But Spotify, they charge people $10 per month. I'm sure there's a free service that offers ads, but they were paying just random YouTubers. So you could be a guy and all you talk about is different types of vacuum cleaners, and you could get paid to do that. So that was kind of a unique thing. Like, wow, I get a check every month for $200 from YouTube, and I just talk about vacuum cleaners. But then too many of the little guys, the vacuum cleaner man, they were making money over these bigger channels that no one really cared about. So they changed the monetization. I mean, people are still getting paid now, but now it's like you have to have way more. It's probably like a penny per 10,000 views now. So pretty much only the people that are getting like 1 million views minimum per video are making money.
It's completely absurd. I mean, how is it possible that as time advances and technology becomes exponentially better at tracking things, how is it possible that we're making less than ever in the history of the music business?
I can tell. I'll tell you.
Legal?
I will tell you how. I have the exact answer. It's because now anyone can find you, and that's not a good thing because they want people to listen to very specific things. It's not good that people get off the reservation and listen to what they want to listen to. You're only supposed to listen to top 40. You can listen to Taylor Swift, but we'd rather you listen to Cardi B. That's basically why. It's almost there
Music has become social engineering, and they're pushing social engineering for people to be absolute robots without any critical thinking whatsoever.
Well, not just that, but it's almost a de-incentive for people to play music. Like, oh, do you want to devote your time to this? This is what you're going to make. That's way less than minimum. Yeah, that's way less than a minimum wage. And even if you make it, that's still a low amount of money. So I know it's probably better for you to start an OnlyFans.
Everything the establishment does has multidimensional purposes.
Of course.
There's many reasons why they do everything that they're doing. And unfortunately, it's not for the benefit of humankind.
No,
or artists or thinkers or any kind of pioneers or trailblazers that that society should look up to.
Actually, no. It's the other way, and not no to disagree with you, to agree with you. No, they don't want the artists and thinkers. That's why there's like Cardi B.
Sexy Red.
Yeah, and Sexy Red. Yeah, it's like these are, Cardi B is interviewing Joe Biden and is like the number one artist. Like these are your thinkers.
She's an intellectual giant.
Exactly. I mean, have you heard her song WAP? I mean, it's like, I thought Hemingway.
Why don't we read their lyrics? Why don't we read their
lyrics?
We'll get to her. Don't worry.
Well, do you want to pull up a Cardi B song right now? I mean, we could.
No. I was just. Let's not spoil the show.
Right. Yeah, but the great
talking about real music.
Well, yeah. Well, the greater point is once upon a time, these people had something to say, and there were writers that people would quote, and then there were literary classics. Like people used to read the Odyssey, and then they would cite it, and they don't even have that anymore. It's beyond just music. Music is a complete wasteland, but so is literature. Everything is bereft of creativity, everything. And of course, it's by design. Yeah.
it's obvious that the establishment wants to destroy all the great achievements of Western civilization, the literature, music, any kind of the arts. I mean, look what's happening everywhere. It's self-evident.
Yeah. No, and it seems like the ruling class has really created a system that just rewards psychopaths. And no,
1000%.
and nobody does anything about it because the people in charge are psychopaths themselves.
Yeah.
And government's number one job is to keep people safe. And it seems like we forgot about that a long time ago. Like, that's the one thing. Safe.
Lock you
And
down
maybe
in your
healthy.
house. Safe.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, I thought you were actually going to say you hadn't seen Chris Poland since the pandemic, or but you saw him before that. Is that so? You
Yeah, it was before that.
Okay.
If you want to hear the record I did with him, it's on YouTube. The whole thing's on YouTube, and it's called "Chasing the Sun." Chris Poland, "Chasing the Sun," and I honestly, man, we recorded this record on a 4-track tape recorder.
Yes.
Oh, been there.
Yeah, we have.
And
we like talking about it too.
Oh, yeah. Oh my God. Let me tell you, the whole thing happened. Anyway, I was at MI, and I just saw this ad. It was like the last year or last part of the year. I saw this ad. Oh, this band called Mumbo's Brain, right? So that was his band after Damn the Machine. I didn't know. I just answered the ad, and it was like Chris Poland. I talked to or Mark Poland, his brother, who was the drummer in the band at the time. So he interviewed me over the phone and said, "Yeah, come on down, and we'll have the audition." I went down there. I didn't know it was Chris. I didn't really put two and two together. Mark Poland, right? And it was like I walk in.
I would do.
And the place is like lit up in black lights, right? And the cabinets were all painted with these just weird creatures. It was all like psychedelic, like phosphorescent paint. I was like, what the hell? I just stepped into. It was just acid trip, man. I was like, whoa. And
might have been.
Chris was there, just wailing, just getting these tones, and I was like, what the hell is going on? This is crazy. And it was just fantastic fucking playing. I'm sorry, playing. Yeah. And can't believe
$1 in the swear jar.
And it was just surreal. It was surreal. And we started playing and jamming. I was like, whoa, this is unbelievable. So I got the gig, and then the singer showed up the next rehearsal, and it was this band called Mumbo's Brain. Super cool, like psychedelic, like hard rock, but kind of alternative band. It was really cool. Unfortunately, we didn't get signed, and the singer left, and we just kept writing music. So, and Chris would record it every time we would come up with this, cool stuff. A few rehearsals later, we had all this material, and then he bounced the tracks down, and used the other 3 tracks or two. Yeah, the other 3 tracks to record all the guitar solos. And dude, it's an amazing record. It's amazing. And there's like, we couldn't fix anything, so there's some mistakes in there, but it's super cool. Like it's just raw and like kind of like rock fusion, psychedelic rock fusion. It's really cool.
No, I loved it. And
you should check it out.
It's great.
You love his guitar playing. It's definitely something you guys should check out.
I'll put the links in the description too.
Oh, cool.
If anyone wants to hear it, if the whole thing's on YouTube, it's easy enough. Put that link there. Click that link.
Oh, awesome. Thanks, bro.
Yeah. So yeah, we are in an era where you can find anything that you want, and that is a problem because like right. Yeah, I mean, like there's a little bit of a joke in there, but at the same time, the variety is not allowed. Because like when you said earlier that they're trying to destroy the accomplishments of Western civilization, well, they're also trying to make sure that no one rises to do something great for Western civilization. Like
Absolutely.
we have access to whatever you want. Like if you have a phone, you have access to literally infinite knowledge.
Mhm.
There is more information that you can use your phone for in like 90 lifetimes. And people are using it to watch. People are using it to watch 15-second videos of people walking on like egg cartons and falling
It's
down.
so true, man. I always say this. I'm like, you have, in this day and age, the greatest library ever compiled in your hand. In your hand. It's astonishing. And then people say that they're bored. Do you ever listen? Do you ever hear people say that? Oh,
Oh
bored.
yeah,
boring
absolutely.
people get bored.
Yeah.
I say that.
Hell
Boring people get
can
bored.
you be bored in this day and age with all this insanity going on?
Yeah.
You're bored?
I'd say it's a lack of purpose, really.
And there's a lot of good things going on too. You know, it's just like, but the revolution won't be televised. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you know, you have to be a seeker of knowledge, right? You have to be engaged, and people are just they're disconnected. They're
Totally.
disconnected to reality, and the cybertronic reality we live in, even though it's connecting people on a certain level, it's disconnecting us personally and spiritually. Does that make sense?
It's connecting people on a superficial level, but it's also teaching them to be antisocial. So it is, yeah, I know exactly what you mean. This is a complaint that I've had for years because, you know, DJ and I, you of course, we grew up in the era before everyone had a cell phone and like
really the internet, really.
That too, yeah.
And I just turned 23. Just kidding.
Well, I mean, that's the same era, yeah. But that's the same era, yeah. But it's I don't mean like people went their whole lives without having one, but there was a time when very few people had it. Like you knew very few people that had a cell phone at many times in your life. It wasn't really until yeah, I want to say it probably wasn't till either maybe not even the end of high school, maybe after high school when I got my first phone. And I got the iPhone maybe the second or third generation, and that was my first real smartphone. And I was like, wow, this thing is so cool, but it never corrupted me like how it did with most people. So I'm still a pretty social guy, and I think most people that are from that era, they're like that. Like if I go out in public and if I chat with someone and they're usually like older than me, there's no problem. Like they can make conversation, like even if it's like superficial, like, oh, nice weather we're having. Like they'll do that. But younger people, they don't know what to do.
Dude, they can't even speak.
They're lost.
They can't even speak.
I can't remember where I heard this, but I heard that there are young people that will not order a pizza because they get too nervous talking to like the person at the Domino's. I can't remember where I heard that, but that was something that I heard, and I absolutely believe it.
Yeah,
but
because these devices are obviously have been proliferated to control the mind to such a degree that you know.
I think it's to destroy the human being, really.
Yeah,
to destroy the soul.
The soul, yeah. I
don't think it promotes it, but I think it by default it creates these antisocial behaviors. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
Because remember what we were talking about earlier is like, you know, like a lot of your communication is visual. You know, when you look at somebody's face, you know, it's like, you know, that's a big part of communication. And when
there's nonverbal cues that you can pick up on, you know, it's just, there are multiple parts. Okay. You know, I came across this stat in October, and it's probably a higher number now, but it said 71%. Yeah. Kind of 71% of Gen Z don't qualify for military service due to obesity, criminal records, and other reasons. 71%. So what do you do? you got to lower the bar to even have a military.
And then at what point is your military just military in name only?
People.
Yeah, well, yeah, I can't count on those people to protect me.
No. So yeah, so hopefully other countries aren't listening in on how weak we are and how
they know. They know.
This is I mean, this is deliberate and it's a product of social engineering.
Yes.
I mean,
yeah.
There's no other explanation for it.
No. I think I wouldn't say like I found something, but something I think kind of makes sense to me is when not when this all started, right? But when the consequences kind of started is really in 2008, the Black Friday shopping, when people were literally like, that's when like they literally started murdering people in Walmarts. Like people started dying. And I think I feel like that was
unbelievable.
The snowball that and the domino that dropped that really took us into the next like, what are we doing? Like we're literally Christmas shopping to celebrate family, and we're literally killing people over getting $100 off a TV. Like and that was 16 years ago.
Oh, I'm gonna rewind. That was happening when people were buying Cabbage Patch Kids. Like when the Cabbage Patch Kid came out, that was the hottest toy of the year, and people were trampling each other to get that.
Yeah, they were trampling each other.
And I've just been dying to know I've been dying to know the benefits of having like people like that in our society. Like that's wonderful. Like that's just making us
well here I'll tell you, there is none. There is no benefit.
I wonder what music they listen to.
Probably a lot of Bach, maybe some Mozart, Chopin.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
some classical composers. Yeah, I'm sure really, really creative people.
Speaking of which, not to change the subject or anything,
you're good.
That's fine.
Yeah,
I saw the most astonishing thing, and I on Instagram, or I think it was Instagram
somewhere.
This girl from England. And she has this neurological disorder, and she plays the piano. If she hears a piece of classical music, she will play it without practice. She'll sit down and she can't even look at the keyboard. Her eyes are like, you can tell she's neurologically impaired.
Wow.
And she is a complete prodigy. It's one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. I got to send you a link to this thing because
you have to.
Mind blowing, man.
I love that. But
it's one of the most beautiful musical things I've ever seen.
And the inverse of that, an AC, you know what that reminds me of? Is that the jawless rapper.
Oh, well, we need to talk about that some other time. We have to dedicate a whole show to that.
Okay,
it's not. See, it's one of those things like you hear that and it sounds more impressive than it is, but really, it's a guy with no jaw who can't talk, and they're touting him as a rapper. When he goes on stage and someone stands behind him rapping, and they're clapping for this guy, it's like literal. It would be like meet the handless keyboard player, where if someone is playing keyboards and then this guy's just pretending to. Like I'm all for I'm all for doing this kind of like Make-A-Wish Foundation thing. Like, if a kid wants to be a rock star and he's terminally ill, and then they put him on stage with like Metallica or something like that. Like what a nice thing to do. But to actually pretend that people that cannot do the things that they want to do, like, you need to tell people no. So and that reminds me.
That's a big thing with everything that's happening in society now. You have to conform to people's delusions that they're the opposite sex. It's like, what? Wait a minute.
Well, not just that, but I mean, like DJ brought up earlier with you have like people that can't qualify for military service. So now what you do is you just have to lower the bar to let them in.
Yeah.
So like you're just telling people that can't do a thing that they can't do that. You can do that. Someone was telling me about this movie a little while ago. Same thing. But there was a movie that came out like 10 years ago. I didn't see it. I remember the trailer, but it's about a slug that ends, or a snail that ends up winning.
Turbo?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. A snail.
A snail.
It wins. Hold on. Stop interrupting and laughing. I know it's really funny, but I have to get this out. It's about a snail that wins the Indy 500. Now, some guy was telling me about this. He's like, this movie just came out about a snail that wins the Indy 500. Like, this sends a message that, like, even if you can't do something, like, if you believe you can, but at a certain point, there are things that you cannot do. Like, if you do not have hands, like, maybe you shouldn't try to be like a guitar player, like things you use your hands for. Like, I understand there's that guy like the Oscar Pistorius who ended up like killing his girlfriend or something, but he didn't have legs and he became like a marathon runner or sprinter or something. But he had prosthetics that allowed him to do that. So like we're not at a point where like you don't have it, you're born without hands, but through some kind of medical graft or something that they're able to give this someone like synthetic hands that can play guitar. That's not how it is. So this jawless rapper, it's not like through technology he's able to rap. No, he just can't rap. And someone stands behind him rapping, and then he just pretends to, and he's being celebrated.
I mean, this is the celebration of complete idiocracy.
Of the
I mean, this, like I don't, I like most 90% of good music.
Good music.
I love rock, obviously. Love jazz, love fusion music, love classical music, 20th century, good pop. I love music. But that garbage, I'm sorry, cannot be construed in any way, shape, or form as music.
No, it's not music.
No.
Yeah, and the pretending, like just like you pretend that someone's the opposite sex when they're not, like you're pretending that this is something good. It's not.
Well, let's
form. Well, and the most egregious part of it is the lyric content, because the lyric content speaks to the subconscious. And the more young people repeat this insanity, this social toxic garbage that is designed to tear apart the family unit and the rest of society, is what's being ingrained in these kids' brains. It's astonishingly bad.
It's a weapon.
Yeah, totally. It's a psychological weapon. It's a psyop.
And it's a lot easier to fool someone than to tell someone they've been fooled. So
absolutely.
Well, yeah. especially that our society's become so narcissistic and egotistical. It's like, if I'm wrong about something, I'll admit it.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm like, I was wrong, man. I need to learn something here.
Yeah.
I can learn something from being wrong. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with admitting that you had it? Your take was wrong. There's nothing wrong.
Well, here's what's wrong with it. What's wrong with it is it assumes that like being wrong means that you're willing to learn, and it's not about learning. It's about how good you feel. And it's better to feel good than to yes. And this is what social media has really done. And I got off social media like 10-ish years ago because I just saw all these people that I thought were friends and nice, intelligent people just acting like buffoons and psychopaths. And I was like, I can't do this anymore, because it all became about like, look, here's a thing I did. Give me 1,000 likes so I feel good. Well, that thing you did, it's not interesting. Like, you went to a restaurant, someone else made that for you. Because I used to do that. Like look at this thing that I made, and I thought people would, don't you think this is cool? But people are like, here's a picture of me with something that someone else did. But that's their achievement. That's not yours. But all these people, they because of social media, they grew to be in love with themselves.
Yeah, it's a celebration of mediocrity.
It's and I do think it is corruption, and I do think all kinds of addiction. I do think it is demonic. I really do, and I think there's no difference between being addicted to heroin or pornography or social media. Like it's still your brain is drawn to things that are objectively bad for you. And I had a conversation with someone not too long ago, and they tried to do like, oh, aren't I so smart? Like, who am I to say what's good and what's bad for you? Like, you know what's bad for someone. Like when it has negative effects on your health. Like right now, if you have a Reese's peanut butter cup and you haven't had one in 10 years, it's not good for you, but it's not going to have a negative effect on you. But
I got to go get one. Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. You can have one. It's fine. Yeah, well, not even just one, because it comes 2 per pack, so you can have both of them if you want. I don't recommend.
Why have one when you can have 2?
Well, why have 2? But and the problem with that though is it turns into like, why have like, oh, one's not bad for you, well then I can have 2. Well, if one's not bad for me and I can have 2, well then I can have 10. And that's how it starts, because if we said on this show like, hey, look, if your back hurts, take the fentanyl. Now a lot of people would probably post comments saying like, no, that's never okay, that's bad, don't do that. But there's enough people that are probably thinking like, oh, my back hurts, the doctor prescribed me the opiates, oh, this guy said it's okay, all right. That's how
doctor.
And that's how it all, Dr. Rock, and that's how it all starts. It's just someone saying something bad. Oh, that's okay, but you know what is bad for you. Like, okay, having a beer, it's not good for you. But having a beer, especially if you're already physically active, you do enough things that are good for your liver, you're burning enough calories, you're not sedentary. A beer, it is going to calm you, it is going to relax you. And like you do need, some kind of, I'm not soul food, but something to soothe the soul, and that would help. But if you're having, but 28 beers a day, or even less than that, like even like a 12 pack a day, that's still like it's going to be more
of anything.
Yeah,
hold on, I gotta go get one. Hold on.
Soda.
Go get your 12 pack of Busch.
You better share or Pabst Blue Ribbon.
I got Pabst Blue Ribbon on my mind.
Oh yeah, me too. It's a really funny video.
Yeah, but that's how it all starts. Yeah. And you have a lot of people out there, and this has been an excuse that's been given to everyone, is the whole like, well, who are you to say what's right or what's wrong? Like, how do you know what's best for someone? It's like, well, why do you think that someone knows what's best for themselves just by default? Like, if I'm taking heroin and it's my choice, like, who are you to say that I know what's best for my body? Because I think most people would agree, if someone is regularly using heroin, they don't know what's best for them. Like, there's never a reason for anyone to regularly use heroin. Like, unless you have like stage 4 stomach cancer and like you are just 1 foot in the grave, like there is no reason for anyone to use heroin ever.
Drugs are bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Good. Yeah.
I don't do drugs. Do you have any?
Yeah.
I'll email you some.
So getting back to the monetization thing. I think that we need to start an organization, artists around the country and around the world, to demand that this change be legislated for one, just for starters, and I advocate for $1 a play. I mean,
I think that might be a bit too much.
So much money. I know that's a lot of money, but
I guess bargaining chip
25 cents.
There, yeah.
25 cents a play. I mean, let's start with 25 cents. I mean, the amount of the millions of dollars that they're making on the backs of artists is absolutely, unequivocally, just unacceptable. And just something's got to be done about it. It's hard for me to believe, well, that Congress isn't doing anything about it, but Congress is so corrupt. Yeah, it's just
they're having sex on the floor and filming it.
Yeah, it's so insane.
They're literal degenerates. I mean, like all of them.
It's crazy. I mean, the riot is just bad.
I would argue in many cases it's worse because on one side they're telling you that they're going to destroy you, and the other side they're saying no, we're here to protect you, and then they're just they're in power. Yep. Oh, gee whiz! Oh, I wasn't the time. Yeah. Oh, sorry. But to expand on this point, we used to have a semblance of celebrating arts, like arts and entertainment used to be something that was. Exactly. And when you've replaced like real music, like real and I will always default to metal being the peak of music, because it takes influences from everything that was good and it puts Absolutely. It in a nice creative package. And it doesn't have to be metal, but there's also, there's jazz, there's blues, there's rock, there's still people.
Fusion is
fusion. I don't know. I guess I kind of lump fusion into the jazz category, but maybe I just can't tell the difference. But yeah. I'm talking, big umbrella for just like generic rock, generic metal, generic jazz, blues, and there's still people making.
When you hear that record I do with Chris, you'll hear all these amazing.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah.
Well, Chris is a musician. Chris isn't a guy that plays guitar. Chris is a musician. Like he understands.
The muso, man.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people like this, and they're overlooked. And the people that are getting paid are the people that are replacing you. And it's a 1-2 punch of one. It makes people think that that's what's popular and that's the good stuff because they're getting paid and they're getting promoted and they're getting all the plays. And 2, anyone can make this music, so you can just grab anyone. Like, will you comply? Okay, yeah, so you're going to be our new pop star. Like, that guy, he did that song. It was really popular. A lot of people
get compromised. Yeah.
Oh, are you sure? Are they not like compromised from the beginning? I would argue that all of them are like that's in their contract. Like you have to be willing to, like you sell your soul. Like there was that guy. I used to watch him all the time on YouTube. Mark Dice. Like he wrote a book.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, he wrote that book. It's like the Illuminati of the music industry, and he's like, these people really do sell their soul, because it's not like someone with the red horns and the pitchfork says like I'm going to take your soul and like the blue beam of light comes out. No, like we're going to give you money. You're going to do whatever we say, whenever, no questions asked, or we'll destroy your career. That's it. Like that. Like people try to simplify what this like selling your soul means, and it's and just like so there's a song on my album. It's called On the Cold Floor, and if you read the lyrics, it's about demonic possession. But really, what it is about drug addiction. That's what it's about, and I do believe
that's a gateway to it for sure.
I believe that it's a demon has taken them. It's taken control of them, and
that's very obvious to.
Yeah. And we've done like a little segment in a previous episode, but I think it's important to talk about it now. But literally, like talking of selling your souls, but Lady Gaga literally did an advertisement for Pfizer.
I saw that.
Did she like
it? It's so weird because the thing is like say Pfizer came to DJ and I and said like, hey, we'll give you money if you promote Pfizer. It's like, well, we could use the money in the promotion. What does Lady Gaga need it for? Lady Gaga's probably worth like she's probably worth at least $100 million. Like
millions, not more. Yeah. Closing in on $1 billion easily. Like
because it's.
If Rihanna's a billionaire, then how much money does Lady Gaga
probably it's expected of her,
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's in her contract. But but back to this is they don't want to encourage the arts. So I think that they don't, that like they pay so little because it makes people not want to take up music. And we have an innate desire to create things. I mean, the most primal driving factor for almost anyone is to find a mate and literally make another version of yourself. So we have it in our DNA.
Essence of creation.
Yeah, we have it in our DNA to actually make things, and making music is a very important thing. And this is like going back to the people.
It's our responsibility too as artists to keep the flame alive, man.
Yeah, and the best way to do it, because we are trying to bring rock and roll back into the limelight, because that it deserves to be there. I mean, it's gonna keep existing, and the best way to do it is honestly to defang modern pop, especially rap, because rap is it's a weapon that it's far more destructive than, you know, the atom bombs that were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. I mean, just look at the fallout of it. Like how many people have been murdered, and like how many people have become drug addicts or drug dealers as a result of it.
That kind of mental poison just destroys people on a level that it's not even, you know, it doesn't hit you at first, you know, like
no,
it's
subconscious.
It hypnotizes you because you hear the beats, and then your feet tap to it, because that's the point of it. It is like it's hypnotism. That it's like, you know, you're getting very sleepy. You will buy a brick of cocaine and you will sell it.
There's nothing that drives me nuts more than I'm a musician, I make beats. Or I'm a producer, I have a computer and I make beats. What the is that?
Good job.
What the hell are you talking about, man?
Yeah.
You don't know what you're talking about. You don't even know what a major scale is, or a minor scale, or
no, that's music now. You don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Grandpa.
Where yeah. You don't even know reality. That's not music.
Get with the times. Get with the times, old man.
Stupid, bro.
You're stupid,
bruh.
Bruh, yeah.
Get stupid. Yeah, it's cool not to know anything.
Wait, you have your clothes on. You're not doing butt dances and for money. What? Yeah, it is. And there's something actually that I wanted to bring up too, with like not being able to do things that you literally can't do. But there is a good inverse to that, and I hope you don't mind me sharing this, because we talked a lot on the phone, Francesco. I really appreciate your friendship, man. Like we gotta hang out soon. But you talked about having like a psychic imagery in your head at 18, and and it was about your idol John Sykes,
one of my idols.
Oh, one of your idols, yeah.
Long time.
Do you mind kind of explaining, or
so
continuing with that?
Yeah, so my friend, childhood friend Ray Krakowski, fantastic guitar player, was in this band TNT. They were called TNT, not the same TNT from Germany, but just a local Pennsylvania band. I grew up in Pennsylvania, and fantastic musicians in that area. And I grew up, fortunately, around a lot of them. And his band was awesome. And they were playing in bars, and they started playing Whitesnake's hits from the Whitesnake record, the big one. And I was like, oh, this music's amazing. So I started listening to the record, and I got this psychic image of Sykes. I never saw a picture of him. And just this image of him, it looks almost exactly like him, just entered my head. It was just like, it was, and this happened to me a couple different times. And I knew somehow I was going to work with him, right? So this is like 20 years later. I'm in California, because I had moved to California for, to be in the music business. And I was at my ex-girlfriend's house, and we had just watched the movie Rockstar, right? And the credits were rolling, and my phone starts ringing. I'm like, I pick up the phone. Hello, is Francis there? I'm like, huh? Who's this? Oh, this is John Sykes from Thin Lizzy. I'm like, what? I thought somebody was fucking playing a joke on me, man.
Another dollar.
And it was him, and he asked me to audition for the band. And I went to his house, and he hired me, and it was so surreal. It was so surreal, but it just, that's because I was connected, being connected to the universe. Creative visualization, like, or sometimes the universe gives you this energy and visions, or this premonition that something's going to happen, and it happened. It was crazy, man. It was like 20 years later, but
that's amazing. Yeah,
it was crazy, man, and we're still good friends to this day.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and I had the amazing experience of playing in Thin Lizzy for 3 years with Tommy Aldridge and Scott Gorham, the original guitar player, and John Sykes, man, every night, like next to
you gotta pinch yourself.
Oh.
Is this real? Like,
yeah,
that's incredible. And a testament to you being such an amazing musician. Like, that's they're not just gonna give anyone that job.
I just love it. And I taught myself how to play, and I'm still teaching myself new things. I'm on this Rush tribute. I have a Rush tribute gig that I'm doing in Michigan, Saginaw, I think. Near Detroit, and I'm playing keyboards too. So I'm learning that. I just taught myself how to
doing it all.
Keyboards, and, I mean, it's just a beautiful thing.
Yeah, that's the thing too, which I think is lost, or a lost art, if you will, is continuing, like, education, like learning. Like, people are just happy with being comfortable and stagnant, and just, I've got a phone, so what do I need to learn? Like, they don't understand that there is.
Yeah, there's
a
difference between I need to know something, I'll Google it, and retaining it and actually learning it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people can't separate that anymore, because the thing is, we live in a society where everything is all about instant gratification. So you don't need to learn anything, because you always have your phone to fall back on, no matter what it is. Like, you don't need to cook, because you can order from Grubhub. Like, you don't need to learn any.
I did that last night, man.
There you go. You don't need to learn any information, because you can just Google it on your phone. Like, just
all conveniently done for you. Yeah.
You don't need to learn how to make friends with anyone, because you can just go on Grindr. You just, like, everything is all there.
Crazy, man.
Or even an AI chatbot. You don't even need a girlfriend anymore.
That too. Yeah.
She doesn't even get mad at me. So
you don't. I'll do you one more. Like, you don't even need to do regular friends anymore. You can have AI chatbot. Yeah. Like, you can do, like, whatever you want. You can just have, like, AI can just, hello, how are you today, DJ? You doing good? How is your dog? Oh, that's great. Oh, what you want to talk about? Oh, I know that you fancy baseball. Tell me about the baseball you like. Oh,
let's take a quick break. I'll be right back.
Okay. Well, I'll keep doing this bit.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Take your break. Because I'm loaded with all this information, whatever you tell me about baseball, I know everything about it. So you can have AI is ready to replace everything. So why would you need to have a friend? Like, why would you need to know anything? Like, AI is there. It's got your back. Like, this is kind of a scary thing with AI. Like, I do not see AI as a good thing.
I don't either.
And I think of it like everything. Like, I think you and we've seen enough to just know. I think 20 years ago, if AI were introduced, I think we'd be like, oh, this is so cool. This is going to be so great. But now, like, we've seen how technology has really turned people fat, lazy, and stupid. So now you have another thing that it's going to do all the work for you. Like they even have like AI robots that are like cooking people breakfast and stuff.
Well, I'm sure they've got like AI like sex robots too. And then it goes
Oh,
to
I
the
bet.
point to where what?
I said, oh, I bet. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it gets to the point where literally like you're living in Terminator, because the idea is that the artificial intelligence realize, or the machines realize that, oh, like humans are a threat, because they're going to realize we're actually bad and nefarious. So we need to get rid of the humans. Like, and we're feeding them all that information. I feel like a crazy person, but it's like when I think I saw an article that like an AI worker at one of Elon Musk's um Tesla shops or whatever, like,
is it suing Elon Musk?
It hurt like an employee. Like it went
Oh,
off
I did hear something like that. Yeah. I heard that.
Like, oh,
yeah,
it's begun. The Terminator literally. So like, and things happen fast, right? Like, just think a couple years ago where we were, and like now that it's in the mainstream with AI, because people are like, oh, look, like now there's Chat GPT, and that was the big thing, and like, oh no, that's been around like a little while. It's just
now
it's
you have it.
Good now. Yeah, now you have it. And then look, where are you going to be next year? Then the year after that. Oh yeah, like the AI controls all of our missile defense systems. Oh, that's good. What could possibly go wrong?
Wasn't that pretty much what happened in Terminator? Is that?
Yeah. And who's programming the AI?
Well, yeah. That's the problem. It's people with people with agendas are programming the AI, not people that care about truth. So that's the ultimate problem.
1,000%.
Yeah,
1,000%.
And this is the
and the adulation to about this AI crap is it's just mindless. It's like, aren't you worried about who is programming this crap?
You don't even have to think anymore.
Isn't
that great?
I mean, what the truth is that someone else wants you to think the truth is? Man, it's astonishing that our society has lost its mind.
Yeah. No, they have. Well,
you know what? You know what? The scamdemic too really revealed, and this is a point of contention for me about the music business and artists, is like, wait, I thought you were anti-establishment. But now you're going to stick your head up the ass of every futzing pharmaceutical corporation and every NGO that was not voted for by the people of this world. Now you're gonna comply with the establishment. So many bands, like in the last few years, really revealed who they really are.
No doubt.
Well, I mean, no. I'll say, yeah. No, yes, you are 100% right. So this is the thing about music. Music was anti-establishment when the establishment had morality, when it actually cared about the nation. Now, it didn't always 100%, but there were a lot of people that were still working for the people. Now, no corporation cares about anybody. Nobody in politics cares about anybody. But there was but there was a point when there were plenty of people that did care, and there were a lot of people that cared, and they wanted to do what was best for people, and maybe even some corporations at the time would just wanted to make a good product, and if we make a good product, we'll make money. But now it's just like, let's make as much money as possible, or let's control people or make them as stupid as possible. So this all goes back to punk rock. Like, punk rock is like, oh, it's anti-establishment, but that was a time when establishment was somewhat good and moral. Like, for all the problems of the Reagan administration, there was still, like, Nancy Reagan, like, say no to drugs. Like, there was still, Ronald Reagan, the best social program is a job. Like, what's the most dangerous thing someone could say? I'm from the government and I'm here to help. Like, there was like,
he was right on that, man.
No, of course. Well, yeah, sure. But I'm saying, like, a lot of these were like the statements at the time, and this is what they were anti-establishment for. Where now the establishment is openly hostile to everybody, and these people, they're pro-establishment now because they weren't anti-establishment, they were anti-morality. And at the time, the establishment stood for morality. Like, we went from 1950s Leave It to Beaver to shaking butt dance lady.
WAP.
Yeah, to Cardi B being in the Baby Shark the movie.
Yeah.
Hey, I have an OnlyFans and I twerk on the side, but don't judge me.
Yeah, but you have to. Well, yeah, but you have to be 18.
You play bass in it?
Hold on there.
That's all my music. Yeah.
He plays bass naked, but you have to be 18 and up. He's not on Nickelodeon with Cardi B. It's different.
Yeah, are you aware of that, Francesco?
We don't need to talk about that. We don't need to talk about that. I said my one line. We'll gloss over that. But yeah, that's the point. Is that stuff is celebrated? Like, and going back to our early episode that we did on the PMRC, like, I am pro PMRC. Like, they were trying to keep that stuff away from kids. And a lot of people can say, like, they shouldn't censor the artists. Like, well, why not? If the artists are promoting things that are objectively bad for children, why shouldn't they be censored? Because they stopped censoring them. Look where we are now. There you go. So censorship, I'm for censorship to an extent. Like, the R rating is a good thing. Like, NC-17, like, these are good things. Like, kids do not need to have access to all the things that they now have access to. And it was done under the guise of freedom. Freedom isn't necessarily a good thing. Independence is a good thing. But with the having absolute freedom just turns you to the freedom to be a prostitute, the freedom to be a drug addict, and the freedom to waste your time scrolling through social media, just getting depressed and wishing you had the lives that other people had. That's what freedom leads to. And the people with their hands on the levers of power know that, and they perverted these naive people that just wanted independence, saying, like, look, you can have freedom. But really what they offered them was carnal pleasure. And have you ever seen Pinocchio? Well, we're living on Pleasure Island, and we have a country full of donkeys.
Yep.
Like, that's it.
Yep.
It's a good world, ain't it?
Yeah.
It's lovely.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people waking up to the realities that we're talking about, and people are having epiphanies, and the veil is coming off. So there's a lot of good things happening. You're just not really hearing about it. You know what I mean?
Of course not.
Because they
they control the algorithms. Why would they show?
And they own the entire media complex. So it's and the algorithms obviously are programmed to suppress that kind of messaging, right? So, but there's good things happening, man. And we have to keep music alive primarily for that. For that purpose of enlightening, people. Just
it's really why this platform exists and why we do this show. I think that's what we're trying to do. But so AC, have you seen the movie Daredevil by chance?
I think I did. Is that the one with Ben Affleck?
Oh yeah.
I saw it. I don't remember. I don't think it was very good.
Actually.
Cool. Was it?
The music was cool.
Yeah. Well,
Francesco played on it. That's why I brought it.
Oh, okay.
Played on that record, and so that was like the first time. Did
you get to walk the red carpet and stuff like that?
Yeah.
How does that work? For
the Grammy thing? Yeah, that's cool.
Okay.
The Grammy thing was cool because
that's cool. Yeah.
Okay, well, it was cool, and it wasn't cool at first because Evanescence's manager, Dennis Ryder, who's passed away now, he tried to bar me from going to the Grammys. I mean, this is how heinous some people are in the music business. So I played on this record, and they literally tried to stop me from going to the Grammys. So I had to call. I had a friend of mine that worked at Naris, and I called her up, and she goes, I'll put you in touch with the vice president. So I explained the whole situation and she got me tickets. So me and my girlfriend went, and the cool thing is that the first person I saw there was Steve Vai, right?
Oh,
And
wow.
I had auditioned for him like a couple years ago, like previous to that, and it was a super cool. He's awesome. Did you ever meet Steve? He's so cool. He's
I would
just
love to.
and it obviously one of the world's great guitar players. But I got to play with Mike Mangini. Mike Mangini was playing drums at the time. It was so great. It was so cool. And but I didn't get the gig, but it was great, to play with him. I mean, it was amazing. And he saw me and he goes, "Don't I know you?" And he said, "Audition for me." I'm like, "Yeah."
You remembered me? Oh, that's cool.
That Nate's rehearsal. And he goes, "Yeah, that's right. That's right." He goes, "What are you doing here?" Oh, I said, "I played on Evanescence's Fallen album." And he goes, "That's you?" And he goes, "I can't get that CD out of my, CD player in my car. I'm listening to it all the time. It's so good." I was like, "Oh my God, thank you." Thanks for, appreciating the music. It was just amazing. And then, like that was like kind of the highlight of the evening, Steve Vai, complimenting me. I was like, what the hell? And then, I walked in, there's, like the usual suspects. There was like, all these people there, I'm not going to name drop, but
David Geffen.
Yeah. Yeah. Mr. Friendly. But he's a very interesting character. I didn't mean anything derogatory about him, but I mean,
Steve Vai or David Geffen?
No, David Geffen.
Okay. Yeah, very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah. Let's leave it at that. But it was a really cool experience because like that's another thing I had a vision about. I was like, when I was a kid, like teaching myself how to play, I just loved music so much. I was like, I want to go to the Grammy someday, And it happened. It was like, just like just manifesting through thought and emotion, like this is, I loved it so much. I was like, oh my God, I got a chance to go, and it was just a testament to, yeah, I'm on the right path in life. I'm doing what I love. And even though I'm not famous, like I really, I'm so glad that I'm contributing to the art, whatever contribution that may be, and it really, it was really inspiring, even though, they didn't do right by me, in multiple ways. It was a really good experience for me, and still keeping on, man, because of all the experiences I went through, and it's just keep doing it because I love it, Yeah. Anyway,
well, I want. Yeah. Well, thank you for coming on. We will definitely have you on again. So I also want to take this time. So I've started a new show with my friend Ken. It's called The Memory Hole, and we are going to be covering various news stories that I consider some of the most important events that have ever happened that have been completely ignored by the media. And
so awesome. I'd love to be on that.
Yeah. I'll have you on for that. Yeah, our first episode is going to be in the next few weeks. I'll put the link to our Rumble channel. One's gonna actually be a live show. So, look out for that. But anything else you'd like to plug, Mr. DiCosmo?
Yeah. Well, a few years ago, I got called by Brian Tichy and Brent Woods to do a Rush tribute the day before. They were doing a Rush show at NAMM, and they called me the day before because I forget who the bass player was, but he couldn't do the gig because of a contractual obligation. Contractual. It's kind of very similar in meaning. So he couldn't do the gig, so I came in and did the gig the next day. So Brian was really impressed, and he so we put together a Rush tribute show. It wasn't like a tribute show in the traditional sense of the word, where you try to look like that. I think that's like hokey. You know what I mean? It was kind of we called it a Rush like a celebration of Rush's music. So, but anyway, we did it in Vegas a couple times, and so it was really successful. And so Brian's idea was, do you know Brian Tichy? He played in Whitesnake and Foreigner and Billy Idol's band, uh, Zach Wilde's band, Pride and Glory, right? Anyway, great drummer and guitar player. And so he said, why don't we write a song to kind of promote the project as a tribute to Rush? So we wrote this song called Huck Finn, which was kind of like an answer to the song. And anyway, we promoted the song. It got some traction, and it actually charted on the rock charts. This was a few years ago, before the scamdemic. And then when that happened, somebody heard it, and we got an investor, and we got some money to do like 4 other songs. So we have 5 songs. The original project was called A Farewell to Kings, and if you go on YouTube, you can find it. A Farewell to Kings, Huck Finn is the name of the song. And but we agreed on changing the name to Space Time, or because we can't use A Farewell to Kings, because it's I guess it's copyrighted by Rush, right? Can't use it, can't really use it. But so we have 4 other songs, and I sent one to you. If we could possibly play it, that would be cool. I don't know if we have time.
We will have time. We have decided, and for everyone else out there, we have decided to nix our closing theme that we used for every episode, and we are going to use the guest songs at the end as well. So,
oh, cool!
Stick around. Yep, we got it all.
Great. So that's the story behind that. But it's exciting, because it's not like anything that's being recorded out there. And we're hoping to maybe release some songs this year. And but it's weird, because everyone's doing different projects, which is that's the conundrum, when you do a project with like kind of famous musicians. Walter Eno is the guitar player. He played with Eagles of Death Metal and Survivor, and a bunch of.
Is he related to Brian Eno?
No,
oh.
no, different spelling. And Jonathan Sindelman, who was in Keith Emerson's band, he's a fantastic keyboard player. He was the keyboard player in the project, and he's in the video as well. So this song is called No Man's Land, and it's basically about what happened to humanity during the pandemic, and how dark everything seemed to get, how depressing and weird it was. And it's basically about that.
All right. No, perfect.
Cheery subject,
Good note to go out on.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
Well,
appreciate it.
Final thoughts, DJ?
No, I really appreciate you, Francesco, for not only hopping on for us for so long, but sticking through the technical difficulties
that's
we
okay,
were
man.
experiencing. Glad
someone runs into your house with a car.
Hey, it happens, right? I guess that's what times have become, right? But man, no, please, come back anytime. We'll happy to have you. This was excellent, and I am a big fan personally of your work and career. So I am just so thankful for this, and really, please, like I always say to not only you, Francesco, but to everyone else out there, please, stay safe out there.